get them all going. Hey everybody, welcome to McCallum Motivational Monday. Today we are going to talk about facing our fears and one strategy that I've found that really helps with that, which is like physically burning the fear in your core. By the way, my hair's a mess. I don't know what's going on this morning, but I'm just, it's just me, and this is just real me, and what can I say? Hey, so before we actually start, want to find out where you guys are watching. Thank you, Washington State. Where are you watching from? I always love finding out. Tucson, Arizona. Very cool. And by the way, I want you to start thinking, hey mom, think about like what kind of fears do you wish you could just burn off? One thing that I'm going to be doing this week is public speaking, which doesn't scare me anymore, but every now and then I still get kind of butterflies. I'm speaking at the Los Angeles Times Festival of Books this Saturday in Los Angeles at USC. If you're here, please come by. And I always try to think of something that is sort of relevant to what I'm doing this week. And so since public speaking is one of those things that can scare us, and even me sometimes, depending on the crowd, depending on what I'm talking about, I wanted to tackle that one. So California, Wellington, Missouri, very cool. New Hampshire, snowy. Yeah, it's snowing again, right? It's like totally snowing. It's April. My friend Jason Marsden just did a post, I think last night, or maybe it was this morning. It was this morning of it's snowing in Tennessee. So yeah, but it's not snowing here in Los Angeles, and it's not snowing this weekend in Los Angeles. If you want to come to the Los Angeles Times Festival of Books and come watch me talk about 10 Magic Butterflies, which is back there. But let's talk about facing fears. Let's talk about that. All right. So for us human beings, I believe this very strongly, and I've experienced it, that our emotions are so connected to our physical bodies, right? So if you're afraid of something, we feel adrenaline, and it's physical. It's like a real chemical thing that's happening in our bodies. And so because of that, we have this power to use our physicality to affect our emotions. I mean, we've all experienced it, right? If you go for a run, you get adrenaline, not adrenaline, but endorphins, and you feel better afterwards. So we can do physical things, even if you just work out a little bit, even stretching a little bit makes a huge difference, for me anyway. I'll just feel better, like I'll emotionally feel better after doing something physical. So let's do something physical to burn off fears. First of all, how many of you are facing something this week that scares you? And they do say, do something every day that scares you. I'm not sure if I quite do that, but that's in order to build our strength. How many of you guys are facing something this week that scares you, whether it's a difficult conversation you have to have with somebody, or you're public speaking, or giving a presentation, or the IRS? Oh my gosh, right, it's tax day today, isn't it? You got to call the IRS. Some of us sometimes have to call the IRS to work things out. And guess what? They're just people. It's really okay. All right, so facing fears. Yeah, you kick it in the teeth. Yeah, Sergio, totally. But how? I mean, it sounds great, but what do we do? The dentist? Okay. Yes, acting. This isn't a scope about how to get into acting, Lonnie, but acting does scare a lot of people, so this is one aspect of it. Getting up on stage. If you don't have the strength, right. So sometimes we don't feel like we're strong enough to face our fears. And this is part of that. This is part of building that strength. And it is not as easy as it sounds. I absolutely agree. Fear of heights. Math can scare people, but I have books and books about helping that. Yeah. Okay. So here, let's do it. So for me, and I learned this in yoga at some point, and I'm not a yoga instructor, so don't call me as an authority on this at all. But when you can like picture something in your, like picture your fear in your belly, and and then just imagine that it's a furnace, because our fire comes from our belly, the center of our body where the fire comes from. Again, I'm not an expert on this, but this is my experience of it. And so if you imagine public speaking, yes, totally. Following your dreams, yes, sometimes following our dreams can be scary. So imagine that it's there, and then imagine that you're burning it. It's an incinerator in there. You're literally burning it. And to help that, do some sort of like ab crunchy thing. And this is a super simple one. I think my head is getting caught off. Oh, wait, there we go. It's a super simple one. Like literally just take your elbow to your knee. And here, it looks simple, but it's not as easy as you think. But just crunch. Imagine that, so don't like bend down to reach it. imagine you're shortening these muscles and you just like make it super strong and then just like crunch it. Okay, I want you guys to do this with me if you can. Put your phones down and do this with me, okay? And imagine the thing you're afraid of. Just think about it. You don't even have to think about it very hard because if it really does scare you, even a little thought of it will make you feel that adrenaline. And then you know what? You can burn it off. So you know what? You're not going to beat me. So I'm going to crunch you. I'm going to burn you. You're doing it. Awesome, Jester. Just squeeze it and feel. They say feel the burn, but we can use this to burn off fears. So just do some of these with me. And I've already learned that my stamina is not that great, so I will be totally out of breath in a second here, but that's okay. We're burning off fears. Side benefit, of course, is that you are strengthening your abs and building core muscles, which are not only awesome just to have, but they also protect you. They protect your back. Having strong core and strong core muscles from Pilates or whatever protects your back, protects you from injury. So burn it. Let's say public speaking, you're not going to beat me. I'm going to burn you off. And by the way, I got one more trick when it comes to public speaking I want to share as well. And that's a psychological thing. So right before you're going to speak, or right before somebody shared that calling the IRS scares them, right before you're going to do anything like that that scares you, think to yourself, let me at them. Let me at them. You can't pronounce the whole word, let me at them. You have to say, let me at them. It's a Dale Carnegie trick. And you're psyching yourself into believing that you're not scared. In fact, you're like, I'm not scared. I totally want to do this. Let me at them. I'm a horse, chopping at the bit, straining at the gate. Just as soon as they let that gate out, I'm into it. I'm totally going after it. Because you're that not afraid. See, I told you I'd be out of breath. But you're that not afraid, and it really, really works. You took a public speaking class? Oh, fantastic. Yes, there is a way to get over the fears. And of course, being prepared, knowing what you're going to talk about. But that's not usually what gets most people. It's usually just the psychological jumping off of a cliff feeling. All right. So how many of you guys do that? Do you feel this? Do you feel the core burning? You can like burn your fears off. You can take that adrenaline. You can say, no, I'm going to do something else. I'm going to give you some endorphins. I'm going to burn this. I'm going to feel better and be more ready to attack this. You need a public speaking class? Well, here it is right here, Eric. Kind of. Seriously, these tips will help you. Let me at them. If you have bad knees, I'm not sure if this would put a strain on knees or not. Well, I wouldn't, like I was just kneeling, I wouldn't kneel. But this is really about, you don't even have to, by the way, if you can't touch your elbow to your knee, don't worry about it. That's not what this is about. This is just to get the right motion so that you're squeezing your abs and burning it. But there are a lot of other things you can do. You can simply do like a twisting motion. But as you're doing a twisting motion, you have to imagine that you're squeezing your abs the whole time. So you really get a workout in. I found, yeah, my heart is totally beating fast right now. Kunal, hi. We are working out a little bit, but mostly we're talking about burning off our fears, like public speaking. If you're afraid of something, and you feel that adrenaline, you can burn it off by like doing some crunches. Imagine that your belly is an incinerator. You can actually burn your fears, and it works. So we were doing this before. If you can't touch your knees to your elbows, that's okay. Just even the beginning of the motion, just to like squish it and burn it. And really, the point is, we are becoming the masters of our own destinies. This is about taking control of your fears. Saying, I'm not going to let you beat me. I'm going to burn you instead. So we're burning it. The other thing you can do that I was talking about is just a stretch, like a stretch and a twist at the same time. It's harder than it looks because you have to really, if you don't move anything else, you feel this burn as you tighten your abs and you twist a little bit. And again, I'm not a professional yoga instructor. Anxiety, yes, exactly. All these things, anything that makes you feel afraid, you can burn off. So crunches also work. I'm kind of in a standing situation today, so I'm probably not going to do crunches. And then, of course, you can also do other activities. Like you can just jump in place. You can do, jumping jacks. All that stuff helps. That'll help to kind of shake it off. But really, when it comes to fears, I find that burning it helps the most. Okay, you guys, so tell me, what are you afraid of this week that's coming up? What's happening? Fear leads to anger, anger leads to hate, hate leads to the dark side. I feel like that's a Star Wars quote. Is that a Star Wars quote? It's a good one. Yes, and Joey, that's a really good point, that exercise helps to burn calories as well as burning fears. I don't know how I didn't actually say that yet in this stream. Starting a new job, Margot? Totally. You need to get back into shape, Jeremy, but no motivation? Well, this is your motivation right here, Jeremy. Come on. Here's the thing. We have so many tools. A lot of us feel like victims in our life sometimes, but we all have so many tools that can actually make a big difference for ourselves right now in a room by yourself. You don't even need like one of those crazy exercise equipment things. Those ads, like they crack me up. Those ads like total gym workout. You can do this, you can do this, you can do that. Well, guess what else? You have a floor. You can do push-ups, you can do sit-ups, you can do like side arm, like there's so many exercises you can do where it requires nothing but a flat surface, like the floor. So my point is that these tools are yours for the taking. We all have so many opportunities to improve ourselves, improve our lives without needing outside products or services. And the world doesn't want us to think that because the world wants us to buy things. And I understand we live in a capitalistic society, which is the best. We live in the best country in the world. I believe that. I'm so grateful. But it is run by, money. And so it's encouraging us to all buy things. But you don't need to buy things to be happy, I swear. Yeah. Well, thank you, Talia. Taylin. Cool name. So was that a Star Wars quote, by the way? You probably answered me and I didn't even notice it. How can you be more charismatic? Is that what you're saying? That's funny. Oh my gosh, Tiffany, I used to love Olivia Newton-John. I still do. So anyway, let me just recap because we're coming near the end of it. We are here to burn, yes, calories, but burn fears. Burn your fears. For people who are just joining now, I'll recap. We are all afraid of things. It could be public speaking. It could be starting a new job, some of you were talking about. Whatever it is, we feel adrenaline, right? It's a physical response. There is a physical response to these fears. And that's how you know you're afraid, because you can actually feel it. Well, when that happens, I submit to you that we have something we can do about it. And that is to burn it off. We can burn it off. We literally use our core, our belly, as an incinerator that can imagine the fire, and you are burning off those fears. And you can just say, let me at them, like I can do this. And in order to help that sensation of burning your fears, I recommend some sort of ab exercises where you literally feel your stomach heating up because of these exercises that you're doing where you crunch it, belly power. Absolutely. Yes, Thomas, I do moisturize often. Fear is natural when it comes to change. Yes, it is, totally. Thank you for making that point, Joey. Fear is totally natural, but it's also important for our development to overcome that fear, to tackle it, to not be bested by it. Let's face it, if everything were easy all the time, what would we be doing here on this planet? It would what would the point be? The point is, we are here to grow and learn and love each other and be good people and be kind. But really, at this point, what we're talking about, this aspect of it is, yes, overcoming fears and growing and strengthening, having something to grow from. In this case, fears. Constant fear isn't healthy. No, that's true, Faith. And that is part of why I am giving you guys some tools to deal with this. And there are lots of ways to deal with fear, but I like this one because it's physical, so you can't psych yourself out of it. There's a lot of psychological things you can, tools that we have where like you can talk yourself out of being afraid. Oh, it's not that bad after all, but then your brain is like, yes, it is. Whereas this is actually a physical thing. You cannot deny that you are actually physically heating up your stomach, burning off your fears, and you can actually You know what? If you can't reach your elbow to your knee, which actually might be kind of challenging, try just your hand. Now, obviously you can do this, but we're using our core, any part of your hand or your arm, using our core to burn in there. Burn it. Burn off those fears. Say, you know what? Let me at them. But you have to commit to it. You have to commit to it. You can't. People are going to laugh at you. That's funny, Eric. Some people are going to laugh at you no matter what you do. That is absolutely true. Some of you are laughing at me right now. But I have to say, well, who cares? Because I'm helping some people, and that's why we're here. Yes, I hunt for Sasquatch. I am Winnie Cooper from the Wonder Years. That is true. It is very good for the tummy, Dragonfly. Yes. Any kind of ab workout, obviously, is good for the tummy. But I'm saying, whatever your favorite ab workout is, whether it's this or doing crunches, use it to burn off your fears. Let's overcome these fears, you guys. We don't have to be bested by them. We can beat them. So there's your Monday motivation. I hope you have a fantastic week. For those of you in Los Angeles or near Los Angeles, Southern California, I'm going to be speaking, and public speaking is why I brought this topic up. I'll be public speaking at the Los Angeles Times Festival of Books. I'll be talking about 10 Magic Butterflies. This is my book that just came out in March for little kids. It teaches math, teaches how to make 10 different ways, but mostly it's just a story about butterflies. Flowers who become butterflies. It's very sweet. And teaches math, and I'll be signing autographs, books. I'll be signing all sorts of things. You guys bring me pictures or whatever, I'll sign that too. This weekend, April 21st at USC, Los Angeles Times Festival of Books, 12 o'clock, I believe is my time, but look it up, and you'll see it on my Instagram. I have all the information on a post that I posted last Saturday. I get out of breath when I work out and talk at the same time. It's harder than you'd think. Anyway, thank you so much for watching the Dana Cam. You are the D Squad. You guys are the best, and thank you, and burn off those fears, and have a great week. All right, guys. See you later. See you soon. Bye.